With the onset of the COVID pandemic in March 2020, most professional and knowledge workers began working from home and had to adapt to a different rhythm and style of work. Many firms quickly committed to making the flexible workplace a permanent feature of their operating model. In part, this was driven by necessity, but also by the success of virtual working. Studies indicated good outcomes in terms of worker productivity and job satisfaction. However, we know little about the impact of the virtual environment on managerial behavior, how those in line management positions think and act, how they get things done, and how they get the best out of the people working for them. The evidence suggested managers were as motivated and committed to doing as good a job as ever, but the virtual working environment appeared to have a deleterious effect on their effectiveness. They turned inward. They became task-focused at the expense of relationship building, and they were finding few opportunities to develop new skills. They were becoming more blinkered in their outlook. To the extent that virtual working becomes a normal, even dominant mode of working in the years ahead, it's important for managerial work to continue to evolve. This article presents the results of 3 surveys conducted before and during lockdown to understand what has changed. First, managers operating virtually rated themselves as highly effective on the cognitive aspects of their work, that is, solving problems, making sense of things, and managing their own time. Second, respondents rated themselves as performing better on the task-oriented aspects of their work in the virtual environment, making things happen and delivering results. Third, the people-based aspects of management work were rated consistently and significantly lower in the virtual context. During lockdown, managers were working in a more structured and controlling way, with a greater focus on analytical and task-based work, and less emphasis on enabling and motivating their subordinates. A clear benefit of virtual working for many people is greater degrees of freedom in how and when they work, and this greater autonomy is typically associated with higher levels of intrinsic motivation and improvements in productivity. Unfortunately, however, this higher level of autonomy can create discomfort among managers who might be worried about the employees slacking off when working from home. Managers have struggled with the transition, with many taking a narrower, more controlling view of their work. The virtual working environment exposes managers to the more challenging aspects of their role, inspiring and enabling those around them. To learn more, read The Blinkered Boss: How Has Managerial Behavior Changed with the Shift to Virtual Working? By Julian Birkinshaw, Maya Gudka, and Vittorio D'Amato in California Management Review, Volume 63, Issue 4.